Hello everyone, this is John for PokerVIP.com and we're back with part 18 of grinding TonyBet series where we basically sit down, play a mixed amount of stakes, talk about how playing on small new sites is kind of better for you because the play pools will be smaller, they'll be softer, and there's just way more value to be had from rake races, deposit bonuses, and so on. If you want to get signed up, just click the link that's next to this video or send us a message anytime. Um, I've opened 3 tables so far 10, 25, and 50 NL. And I'm going to go get on the 4th table shortly on a couple of waiting lists. Don't want to play 2 NL, so I'm avoiding that. And I'm going to wait for like a 25 NL game or something to pop up. Good spot for a re-ISO here, top left. And as you can see on the top right hand, I opened button. I flopped a gut shot. I turned the gut shot. And I just kept betting, but sadly we got no action. I'm going to go ahead and continuation bet my Jack Queen off, and I'll basically go ahead and barrel any Jack Queen King or Ace. But on this turn, I'm going to check. Hopefully, he checks and I hit a Jack or a Queen on the river. I just basically think this guy is like pocket pair heavy, sevens through to tens, possibly even jacks, although I block it. So I just don't think I'm going to get him to fold that often. So I'm basically going to check and fold if he bets, or of course I could go ahead and represent a king ace or value bet a jack or queen on the river. Also, there may be a nice spot for a check call with some sort of aces type hands if we think he's going to have some bluffs as well. Get a Hey VIP 1 from Lizard Duck, who's not actually on this table. Can I ask how you make buttons 3x, 4x, 5x pre-flop and like 3/4 pot ends? I think mine was just naturally like that. Interesting. Maybe some of you guys have that same question, so I'm actually going to find out live on video. I'm currently in my settings, advanced options, visual settings. I'm pretty sure this just happened naturally for me, so maybe not be able to help him too much. Just checking off monitor on my other monitor here, how I can see that, but I think it just happened for me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just happened. Pretty sure it just happened. Maybe he's playing on his phone and has. Pretty interesting being asked things when you're recording. Hopefully, this isn't distracting you guys too much. King 8, I've opened. Gonna go ahead and see about this this ace ace x. Yeah, I don't think he gets it. I don't know. Anyway, going to go ahead and fold these and check the Jack 9. Jack 9 I don't really want to go ahead and raise. You know, the hand plays well enough. So it's like raising. I just don't need to. You know, it's not strong enough, but it's not weak enough. So just happy to check there and basically see if I can hit the flop. He's actually tanking here. Interesting, he's got 50 seconds. I didn't think the time bank was that large. Maybe he's disconnected or something. Oh, it's shot down to 22, so maybe not. Just going to go ahead and bet here and see if we can win the pot. Jack High's just not strong enough for shoulder value. He goes pretty quick and we see an ace on the river. I think we just go ahead and bet it because we're really unsure what this guy's got and how many aces he limps with. So we can definitely represent a 4, a straight, a flush, possibly an ace. But he actually had ace 3, so I think he played his hand pretty well apart from the limp pre-flop. King 8, I bet flop. I think I'm going to go ahead and bet turn as well here. He's going to have some ace high floats that we can get him to fold. Once he goes ahead and calls, I'm going to shut down on the river. He can definitely have some draws that I beat, by the way. He could have like 9-10 of spades. So if he just decides to check, I do take down that pot. When he bets 5 here, it's a pretty interesting sizing. He's repping like a jack or better here. I don't think he takes his line with like a 6. I certainly don't think he's doing anything that special with like sevens through to tens to make me sort of like call five with a six. So pretty interesting spot here if we had a hand and how we went about it, but I think we're just gonna have to fold here. It is tempting to rip it because it does kind of look, he's repping like jack better or nothing, but I think we can just go ahead and make a fold there. I think we can just go ahead and make a fold. So yeah, this is part 18, so that means not many parts left. Gonna be sounds quite rude the way I guess I said that, but I do not know the answer, and I'm making a video, so I'm not gonna start looking around too frequently. Ace 10 suited, pretty interesting hand here. Lolik opened. He gets 4 callers, and we flop top, but here it's basically a very easy fold. Lolik is repping a super strong hand here to go ahead and just, raise versus a lead on this kind of board. I'd expect a set or possibly an overpair, although overpairs here, it's a pretty close call between flatting and raising, but I just don't think ace 10 is going to be doing too well there at all, so we can go ahead and fold. Also, say Bambaless bet and Leolic called, then we would call behind. It's pretty close, but we can definitely think we're ahead there and in position, because we've got to assume Bambaless is a weak player just from the way he's played so far with the limp and, leading and whatever. So I think we would have called behind there and just proceeded with extreme caution. But knowing that we do have a pretty strong hand and Leolic can be definitely calling wider and Bambaless can definitely be leading wider. Shout out though to this Lazar Duck. I'm sorry I can't help you, but it was just naturally like this for me. And when making a video, I just can't really spend too much time looking around. But I'm sure if you contact TonyBet support or just check their FAQ page, it'll probably all be on there. So yeah, 6 parts left after this. The old grinding TonyBet is coming to an end, and it actually ends at the end of the year, which was timed that way. Thanks for the love there, Lurs Duck. And then next year, I'm unsure what we're going to be doing. I'm unsure how we're going to proceed on TonyBet. I will definitely be playing here and wanting to produce content. I'm unsure how we go about it. So if you guys have any ideas, please just let me know. I am definitely down to hearing it all. We want to show some PLO content, but I'm obviously not the guy to do it. I definitely don't know PLO strategy as well as I would need to. Queen 7 there, we folded the button. Big pot going on here. Queen 8 takes a pretty big pot. 10-4 we're going to muck. If anyone ever says they've got the police hand, it is the 10-4. Because when police talk on walkie-talkies and they confirm something, they say 10-4. I don't actually know what it all stands for, but somebody said it at the table the other day and nobody knew what it meant apart from me. And I actually was holding King 10 in my hand, so I was very happy that I knew what it meant. Certainly not cheating. He did say out loud what it was. It's not down for me to say, oh, I know that means 10-4. So I called here with the ace-2, so I think I'm just going to bet the river. He's definitely going to have some pairs, such as a 4 I can get to fold. He actually calls with 6s there. I think that's a pretty wide call. But basically, he can check down better aces and some pairs there, but he can certainly fold them versus a bet as well. Couple of things have been working out. Part 17 did not go well. I lost 150 euros. This part not going well either. Maybe I'm a bit rusty, or maybe that's just poker. 4-5 suited I open, and 5-6 suited I go ahead and defend with. Flop a straight draw. Not the greatest straight draw to flop, because obviously there are better straights I can get there, and also spades kind of block some of my outs. I think I'm just going to check down here. 4-5 certainly going to bet with a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw. 6 of hearts would be good. K4FY, not too sure what that means. King Jacks of spades checks. Wow, he should just go ahead and see bet that flop pretty much all the time, or at least delayed c bet. And because he's essentially just letting me hit my 5-6-9 or a 4 there. Interesting, I check that down. Ace Queen, I open, get 2 callers. going to go ahead and bet because, well, it's a dry king high board. And also the amount of turn cards that can improve our hand. An ace, a 10, a jack, a heart. Lots of cards like that that we can go ahead and barrel, build a pot, or just get him to fold with. Once he does call though, I'm going to go ahead and check. And once we do not improve, pretty unlikely that we can get a lot to fold that call up on the flop to fold on the turn. But certainly if that was a heart, an ace, a 10 or a jack of hearts, I would go ahead and bet. But on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and let it go when we are dead to an ace, probably. And sometimes just dead overall versus a set or two pair. Not that many two pairs out there, of course. But sometimes you've got to just go ahead and give up. But certainly happy c-betting into two players on that king high dry board with the backdoor draws that we had. And just also the rep that we have, you know. We opened early, we've bet into two people. It's king dry dry. You know, we should get some respect for that. I think we just probably run into a king or better there. And that will be what it will be. 9-4 and 10-6 are a fold. All in here by Flip-O-Matic. He's like, yeah, I've got 40 bigs. I'm just going to rip it at some point. And gets it through. So we've got to basically make a note that maybe this guy's crazy and just wanting to go broke. And hopefully we can help him achieve that goal. That is what we're here for. We're here to achieve goals. I'm going to fold the king 3. Jack 10 going to defend. Flop a royal flush draw. I'm reaching, but it's kind of true. But we do flop jack high, flush draw, straight draw. So this will be a pretty easy check call. And then, of course, you guys know we need to proceed with caution. He's bet really large here. Maybe he's got like two pair or a set. So there are some implied odds there. Do turn the nut straight. He can have a flush, but you know, that's not easy to do. We do have the jack of clubs here. Thinking about raising because say he does have a set or two pair. Say we call and the river comes a 10, a jack, or a club, then we actually lose value. There are just lots of cards that can come that lose value versus what he's kind of repping. If he does have a small flush, then we can hit a club. So yeah, I think check jammings here is the best because I think he's very strong. I don't want him to be put off giving us the money on the river. You know, if he's got aces, the river comes the the 10 of clubs, we just don't get paid. Comes the 8 of clubs, the 9 of clubs, whatever. Say he's got ace king, same sort of thing. Jamming, is it too large? I think jamming looks weaker than raising to like 12. You know, we can maybe be doing this with ace queen, king queen with the club. So there's lots of hands that we can even be doing this with that he beats, so I'm happy doing it. He actually folds though, which is very random. I'm really not too sure what he can take that line with. Leave a comment, guys. What do you think about that line? Not happy he folded. Did not think he was going to fold. If I thought he was going to fold, I would not make that play. So maybe he was just bluffing or doing something random. Maybe I'd had like queen 10 with the queen of clubs, but he can even still call with that. I'd have to look at the price. I don't think it's going to be the right price to call, but certainly a player could call. Interesting. The overpot pot fold on the ace high board. I mean, we do obviously rep a lot of strength, but we would rep more by making it a different size. And I'm going to go ahead and just pot it here on the button with ace 4 suited. Idea is they all fold, but if they call, I'm going to be in position with a suited ace. A suited gap ace as well, so all good there. Can you just go ahead and flap with the 10s on the button? We can definitely 3-bet it, but if you notice the bad player is gone and this good player, I think he's good, can do. I recognise his name is sat down, so against the bad player, I would have 3-bet for value. Against this player, I'm just happy to call. And I'm certainly going to call once here. Don't love the situation. But again, in position with pair of 10s that we flatted with pre-flop, our hand strength is certainly hidden from him. Get called behind by Flipo, so that's not good. Although he can definitely have wider ranges than 10s, but sorry, wider hands. But yeah, not great when someone bets and gets two callers because there's an overcard and some other stuff out there that can certainly beat us. So easy fold on the turn. I would say Can-Do probably has a pretty big hand here. And I believe Filippo will probably go with it if he has a queen or a draw. Ace-Deuce going to try and steal. Notice he's only got 33 big blinds behind, but still definitely find 3x open here and fold to a raise or jam. Ace-Queen versus 9s there. Ace-Queen scoops. Ace-9 suited under the gun. Very obvious open. Shout out to any YouTubers watching as well. Make sure you head over to pokervip.com. Take a look at our library of over 500 videos, 600 articles, and so on. Ace-Deuce here, I'm pretty indifferent between just betting and going with it. Because of his stack size, I think I'm just going to check and probably call once, depending on his sizing. Or maybe even just fold. He checks. I'm just going to check again here. Jack Queen suited having 3-bet. Notice this guy is very short, 150. To win 335 with 5 behind. Pretty close, but basically if we hit anything, we're just going to go with it. We do make top pair, so in all the money goes. We can definitely have the best hand. We can definitely be crushed. He makes a call and has jacks, which is the best hand for us to go ahead and see. Aces, I'm just going to go ahead and fold. I'm going to scoop those both. The ace-deuce was quite passive, but against his stack size with bottom pair on a wet board, it's never going to be that easy. It's never going to be that easy to play the river there, or that board generally. Big squeeze here by Filippo, who's on a couple of tables, right? Or is it just... Nope. So, top left table he's got 30 bigs, top right table he's got 100 bigs, bottom left table he's not there, bottom right table he's there with 100 bigs. So maybe Filippo's a good player and just shot taking at 50 NL? Maybe? Ace and suited flat versus a perceived weaker player. It's a very playable hand in position as well, so pretty obvious the reasons why. Certainly going to start building a pot now, get value, and also protect. We have top pair, top kicker, backdoor, nut flush draw. We also have that backdoor wheel. He check calls. He's going to have some worse pairs than a 10. And he's going to have some worse 10s as well. He now leads, and this just becomes a very easy call, and going to call any river. Going to defend the 5-6 off bottom right as well. He checks. I mean, I'm just going to bet, and if he raises, I'm going to call because it's just so weird. But I'm going to bet really small here and just try and tease a call out of him. 5-6 I would float here, but on a monotone board I'm not going to without a diamond in my hand. But often float there on a rainbow board. Obviously gut shot, but more so bluffing, turns and rivers. You know, floating to take away on future streets type situation. I'm going to raise, 9-7 suit, very playable hand. Get a fold. Normally the best thing that can happen when you're raising blind versus blind with a non-premium hand is they fold. As nice it is to play those hands post flop, we will be out of position, we can often be dominated kicker-wise, and we're quite often going to have to hit to go ahead and win pots or rep certain boards. So when they just fold and you print a big blind and get your small blind back, that is a good proposition. Huge pot going on here, top left. I had a king, and it was the king of clubs. Check, check. Set of 5s versus 6-3 of clubs. Mega Maniac. Maybe we should have mega rep that river. If you're going to be playing 6-3 suited in such a way, in such a big pot, and your name is Maniac, then you should be going with it. Also, as well, guys who talk about online tells, Mega Maniac plays like a maniac. Maybe shouldn't have called himself that. Maybe should have called himself the Nit. Ace-8 suited, let's raise. 5-7 off versus a crazy player. Yep, gonna call. Flop a gut shot here. Check, check. Turn it. Gonna just half pot it. Sadly, he folds, but certainly gonna go ahead and bet. They're gonna raise the Ace-10 here. Definitely a hand that can have him not crushed, but can certainly be ahead of his limp calling range. If he limp raised, I would just go ahead and fold, unless it was a small raise. But if he folds, that's fine. If he calls, that is fine as well. He calls, and we flop an ace. Actually, get a check here. Essentially, keeping the pot small and obviously just allowing him to stab at the pot. He checks. I'm not going to bet turn really small. I think I'm going to have him absolutely crushed, so we're now just trying to, string him along. But he seems too smart, and he goes ahead and folds. He is just too smart, or just had absolutely nothing. But we wanted to give him that chance to put money in the pot, where we assume that he really doesn't have much that connects well with that board. You know, if he bet flop, we call. If he bets turn, we call. If he bets river, we call. It becomes this really easy situation of bluff catching. And if you've seen any of the previous 17 parts, you'll have seen some serious bluff catching going on. It's definitely one of the top things you can do on sites like this. Is just, you know, click that call button a lot. You know, trap them. You know, not always think about, you know, leading for value, but allowing them to make mistakes. Because, like I say, a lot of the players on here will not be regulars. They will not be like hardcore grinders. Um, they will just be flicking money around because they might be open faced Chinese players. You know, maybe they play the OFC games that TonyBet run. Maybe they're tournament players. Maybe they're sports bettors. Maybe, you know, they're from countries that are a little behind in, you know, the growth of poker. So money could be made by just clicking that call button. It's definitely one of the top tips of TonyBet. Call. You know, just allow people to do stupid stuff. And if, like I said, I think in part 17, if it looks, smells, and tastes like shit, it probably is shit. And you can just easily go if you read there. And we've made some massive hero calls in the sense of, you know, just like they're really trying to go big and go home, and they just go home because we're just very comfortable taking that line versus them. Calling with the deuces, hoping to flop a set. Do not. Gonna check fold. We're gonna get out of there. This is available on Android and iOS. Play on the go. You can see lots of players have. Actually, you can't today. Or am I missing the little... Oh, maybe they've taken it away. Oh, no, it's there. Mega Maniac has played on his phone before. Oh, we turn a full house, guys. Going to go ahead and bet. And actually, happy to bet quite large here. I don't think people are going to fold their pocket pairs. You know, their 8s through to jacks or queens. I don't think they're going to fold a king. And if they still played a 5, we're going to get max value. So even though it's a dry board, I'm happy to go bigger rather than smaller here. And I'm only betting 3 into 450. It's not massive. But certainly it's not a small bet like 150 or 2. Can do some little think here. Be interesting if he raises if he actually just folds this, so whatever. 6-9 I open. It's not that wide of an open blind versus blind. I just bet half pot. There are some good turn cards for us. I think I'm going to go ahead and float here, because like I said, there are a lot of good turn cards, and don't really believe what he's saying. Go check, and basically hope he checks, and I can just go ahead and bet river. But he actually pots it, which is interesting, so now I can fold. But, you know, 4, 7 hearts, you know, lots of those kind of cards out there that we can continue with. I just don't like folding all those backdoors versus 8 mint raise. Gonna go for a nice little 3-bet here with the ace 5 suited, small blind versus mid position, who's actually under the gun, so looks very strong. We have a hand that can flop pretty well. Open 9-4 of diamonds, flop the flush drawn backdoor straight draws. He leads. Pretty easy just call for us here. And hopefully he just leads turn as well, and we can call and hit the river. Versus a pot size bet, still fine to call. Got to assume that there are some implied odds of hitting here and getting some money in position. River, he pots again and we fold. Ace 5 suited, he goes ahead and calls. This would be a great flop if one of these cards was a club. It's not, but it's still a flop. We're going to go ahead and c-bet. Well, you could have like a hand like Ace King, Ace Jack, 10 Jack suited, King 10 suited, King Jack suited, 8 9 suited. Lots of hands there that can go ahead and fold out of equity versus our hand, even though we are technically ahead of lots of those hands. He can also go ahead and call and fold to a King or an Ace on the turn, maybe. Or if we hit the 3, we can go ahead and build the pot. On this kind of turn, now I'm going to go ahead and check. Hopefully he checks and we hit a 3 on the river. That's not a heart, but I don't feel too confident in him checking, and I think this is a check fold spot. Jack on the river, he can certainly have pocket jacks, it can certainly improve him. I just don't think I'm going to get him to fold that many hands here, so we're going to wave the white flag. We are going to wave it. Hopefully he's got ace 3. He actually has 5, 6 of diamonds. Shame he hit that pair. I thought he was going to be a lot stronger than that. Could have got that hand to fold for sure, but you are not to know. I can just call with these 3s. Hopefully flop a set. Even though the pot will be small, we can definitely go for a lead. If we do flop a set. If we don't, then we can just go for a check fold. We do flop a set, and I'm just going to half pot it. 8, 10 of diamonds, easy open in the cutoff as well, top left. We get a call, see an ace on the turn, 4-5 improves, but that's about it. Gonna just half pot again, and I'll just half pot the river. Basically just trying to eke value out of him with whatever kind of marginal mid holding he might have. Sadly he folds, I guess the ace is a really bad turn card. But definitely like the leading there when the pot's so small. We should take the lead and start building that pot, because sometimes you just can't rely on other people to do it for you. Guess that winding down the video. It has been the biggest series that we've ever done on Poker VIP, and it was just one that I wanted to do to show that, the money that can be made, and how to sort of attack these games, and like a real grinder's life. If you're grinding on TonyBet, this is literally just real life and how things go. Okay, just keep trying to check down with these fives. Not too hopefully we win at showdown that often when he checks, but could certainly happen. King 8 suited should be in everybody's button opening range. Continue to min raise like I have done for the last 5 years. I am not changing it, guys. It is my life. Fives are just going to fold. Real guessing game situation there. Delayed c-bet on ace jack jack. Happy to get out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and bet my king 8. Pretty interesting turn card there. Jack 9 and 6-9 approve. I'm actually going to bet this for value. If he raises, I will fold, but he's going to have some 7s that call. He's going to have some 8-9s. He's going to have some flush draws, and he's even going to have some ace highs. So I think the bet is fine there. And also we just protected our hand there. Say I had a hand like Jack Queen. We don't allow him to hit on the river, and we just take it down, which is a okay outcome. It's an okay outcome, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you're enjoying the series. If you're on YouTube or Poker VIP, just leave some comments. We're always checking. I'm always looking. Happy to reply. And if you have other strategies or lines that you might take, please throw them at me. Playing in real time, lots of mistakes can be made. That is pretty much the killer of poker players, that sometimes we miss things, sometimes we don't think long or clear enough. So when someone comes in and says, what do you think about if we took this line? Would this be profitable? I would do this. It is great for everyone to hear, because that is how we make money, by improving and by, really looking at what we're doing wrong and also what we're doing right. Ace Queen here, very obvious bet, repping the high board, and obviously with a gut shot. Going to check and hope to improve on the river, which we do. We make the nuts. Our hand is pretty well hidden here, and he's going to have lots of 2 pairs. He pots it. I mean, there's nothing else we can do but jam. Min raising might work, but we were only leaving like 2 min raises behind. So basically just gonna have a little dwell here and then ship it and hope he has 2 pair or a set, or maybe even a hand like Queen 9. We're repping Ace Queen, and that's all we're repping, and to a lot of people it'd be very obvious we have Ace Queen. But we think this guy's a maniac. He might not know poker that well. He might be stubborn with those 2 pairs. He might even just look at the size of the pot and think, yeah, I call. So we're just going to ship it in here and hope he does call with 2 pair or something. He does call, and we scoop that pot versus Jack 10. Pretty terrible call from him, but Mega Maniac doesn't play that well. We know all this, and we can now go for that money. So yeah, that was that. That was the end of part 18. I'll be back for part 19. This was John for PokerVIP.com, and I really wish you the best of luck at the tables. Get signed up, by the way, and give it a go.